I'm Jimmy.
I'm Henny.
And this is Beers
and Beards.
And tonight we're drinking Hell's Bell. It's a Belgian-style ale from a company called Big Boss Brewing Company. And this bad boy is loaded to kill at 7% alcohol by volume.
Hell's Bell. I'm loving it.
We're doing it right. It's October, and that means Halloween is just around the corner. So we were talking about horror movies, and we were talking about series. And we were having a bit of a discussion. For me, 2 movies isn't a series. I'm talking about movies, the Friday the 13th series, 10, 11 movies, Nightmare on Elm Street, however many of those there are. But the best horror series, what in your opinion is sitting at the top of the mountain when we start talking about these horror series?
Undoubtedly, it's Nightmare on Elm Street. I mean, Freddy Krueger is the scariest guy in horror history. There's so many reasons why. He's got the claws, they're intimidating. He's a bad guy. He's the kind of guy you wouldn't want to hang out with before he got burnt all to hell.
This is all true. But for me, I see things a little differently, and I'm really torn on this one. I always wind up hedging my bets when we do stuff like this. But I think Phantasm, the Phantasm series, I don't know how familiar you are with
balls?
that. Yeah, the ball and the tall man. Yeah. I think that is my favorite series. But I'm also a really big fan of the Friday the 13th movies. And I think maybe they win by volume, because there's like 10, 11 of those. As much as I love Phantasm, there's only 4. Although they fit together well, man. The fourth one is a perfect end. I love the Phantasm movies. Push comes to shove, I think maybe I go with Friday the 13th and my boy Jason.
Really?
Just by virtue of volume. Big fan. I was never as much of a Freddy fan. Like the movies, don't necessarily love the movies.
Which one would you least rather have coming after you?
Leprechaun. For sure, Leprechaun.
Have you seen Leprechaun in the Hood?
I have seen Leprechaun in the Hood. I try to watch all the Leprechaun movies. I make fun of them, but I enjoy them.
Yeah, I do too. You know what they say.
A friend with weed is a friend indeed.
So you're going Nightmare on Elm Street. You're going with Freddy. I'm going with Jason, the Friday the 13th series, although I really wanted to go in for the Tall Man and Phantasm, but quantity over quality. Quantity over quality. I called it Friday the 13th. Hoorah, go Jason.
I still think Freddy's scarier than Jason.
I can't agree with you.
He's the ultimate slasher. He does have probably the best music.
Good music, good kills, good movies. I even like the one in space.
He's getting disqualified, Bob. You should not have just reminded me. Jason
Great
X.
kill when he dips the girl's face in nitroglycerin and then he shatters her head against the desk. Great scene, great movie.
Freddy had people cutting off their eyelids.
Freddy also had the Dream Master, my man Kincaid. Like, you had to be laughing at that stuff too. It was funny.
Probably my favorite one. I think I like the Dream Warriors.
I love my man Kincaid, but it was all kind of funny, you know. Kincaid did remarkably better against Freddy than the Wizard Master. I'll give him that, but it is what it is. Did they, is Dream Warriors, is that number 4? Is that the one where at the beginning Freddy's reanimated by a dog pissing on him? That's one of them. I promise. It's 3 or 4, somewhere in that.
I think that's 3.
I'm just saying.
Wow, Dream Warriors. Remember he had a girl inside of a matchbox. She had like the ant hands or something. It was crazy, man.
The puppet part, I think that's also in 3 or 4. That was creepy. I'm sticking with Jason. Let's talk football. I mean, by all means. You know, I like to talk football, by the way. Even though this was a tough week for me.
It was a tough week for me, too.
Well, I'm not a big believer in a moral victory.
I'm not either.
But that might have been a moral victory.
Nah, man.
I'm just saying.
Nah, there are no moral victories.
Your boy Tony Romo, looking sharp, representing you well.
He Romo'd us all. Don't get me wrong. I do think he outplayed Peyton Manning. But I think by virtue alone of the timing of his interception, man, he should be considered for one of our duds of the week.
But you're watching Beers and Beards, and we're about to break down the Thursday night football game for you.
Touchdown. Second and goal. Lynch has a man open.
And Thursday night, we've got the New York Giants,
The scrubby Giants.
0-5.
Oh,
And
God.
they're coming to play the Chicago Bears. Bears doing a lot better at 3-2.
Looking
But we've seen some kinks in the armor the last few weeks.
Yeah.
Who do you like on Thursday night football under the spotlight? Eli and the dumb face.
Have you seen him
So
this
rude.
week?
Any week this year. Eli taking on Jay Cutler.
Oh,
Live
man.
by Cutler, die by Cutler. We saw how that worked out last week.
Well, this week, the Saints ain't coming to town.
That's very true.
It's the Giants. And the Giants have not looked good at all at any point this season. I don't think it's going to start up this week. What about you?
They're not going winless in 2013, and I think they're going to scrape together a few. Yes, I'm rolling with an 0-5 team. I'm calling it a big upset. I'm guns blazing at Chicago and Jay Cutler. But it's like I said before, you live by Cutler, you die by Cutler. The Giants have been dying by Eli Manning all year long.
Yes.
It has to end at some point.
Not on the road.
Thursday
Not
night.
in the Windy City.
Soldier Field.
Oh, man, I may
I
give
take
him
the
one at home,
Giants.
but no.
I take the Giants.